Hello. So, in honor of Taurus season that we are in the middle of right now, I wanted to bring forward the medicine of softening into the mundane. What does that mean? What does that mean? I feel like, Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, the planet of pleasure. So I feel like when we're in this season right now, I'm feeling this calling of being asked to slow down and soften into the mundane, the day-to-day, the little things, the little moments, the little pleasures. And the card that came out as I was inviting this energy in and asking this energy, what is the collective moving through right now? And what would be a message that would help us move in alignment with this Venusian softening into those pleasurable moments of the mundane? And I received the Wheel of Fortune here. The Wheel of Fortune has this Sphinx at the top, and it represents that stillness as the cycle, as the wheel is moving, as life is moving behind the scenes. You're sitting upon the wheel and you're in stillness. And that sword symbolizes discernment. Discernment that the wheel is moving, even though it feels still. Things are happening. The cycles are passing, even though it feels like nothing is happening right now. The Sphinx is that wisdom to be with the mundane and not force anything to happen that is not ready to happen. But to knowingly rest in that in between, in that spaciousness, knowing that everything is happening for you and never against you. Even though sometimes it feels like nothing is super meaningful or transformative or exciting, it's that knowing that you aren't attached or you don't identify with the highs and the lows and the transformations and the excitement, but that it's just those highs and lows just pass through in life. And you're sitting here with the discernment that it's just passing through and you're not attaching or identifying with any of it. And that's the magic of that mundane. It's life just passes through. And being in awareness of those cycles. And then these 4 figures on the sides of the Wheel of Fortune, on the corners, are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. So that really represents, that fixity, that stability inside of movement. That stability within the rhythmic cycles of the wheel of life, of the grander scheme of things, right? And it's a reminder that life is rhythmic. It is not linear. And that helps us soften, and that helps us to remove the sense of urgency and this sense of trying to find meaning in everything. I think sometimes, especially those of us on a spiritual path, we try to assign fixed meaning to moving cycles. We try to assign fixed meaning to every single day when sometimes we're just meant to live, exist, eat, sleep, cook, rest, repeat, take that same walk that you take every week and allow it to be beautiful each time. That's the pleasure in the mundane. It's like life doesn't have to be meaningful all the time. We don't have to search for meaning and synchronicity or symbolism or transformation every freaking day. Like, we can just allow ourselves to live. And I feel like this message is coming through so clearly of it's okay to just live and trust that that's part of your inner rhythm, and that we need moments like this. And they're silently preparing us for the next exciting venture, the next exciting relationship, the next leap of faith, the next leap into the unknown. And I feel that with this Taurus influence, it's like also releasing urgency in your daily life. The wheel supports resting in mundane cycles, allowing repetition to feel grounding, allowing repetition to feel regulating to our bodies instead of boring, or instead of something urgent that we need to check off the list. How can we create a relationship with mundane tasks that actually feels pleasurable? How can the mundane actually be fun and regulating for the nervous system? Like, for example, if you're washing the dishes, instead of it being something that needs to get done immediately so that you can just go rest in your bed, why don't you rest as you wash the dishes? And how does that feel like? What's your pace? Are you doing it at a very slow pace because that's what your body needs? Are you putting on some music and making it a pleasurable and fun experience for yourself? It's the little things like that sometimes can bring magic into the small moments. Is it getting some sun in your face when you go outside? Is it planting a new plant in your backyard? Is it petting your dog? Is it petting your cat? Is it putting on some nice earrings and some lip gloss? What is that for you? How can we bring magic into the boring moments, which are not boring at all, because we have the magic to bring pleasure into those moments if we decide to do that for ourselves. We get to shine in those moments of stillness too. We get to shine in those cyclical, spacious moments in between life events. We get to shine when life isn't full of a giant schedule, full of excitement, full of transformation. So, where can you let meaning come in cycles? And where can you allow meaning to come in even through the most ordinary moments? And this is not about seeking it. This is about being still enough to notice it. To notice where meaning can creep in through the tiniest little thing. And embodying the energy of that Sphinx, that discernment and that knowing. The wisdom that the wheels are turning and that your inner rhythm, that you're in perfect divine timing because you're not forcing momentum. You're sitting with your inner rhythm and knowing that that is productive. Rest is productive for your spirit. And it's deeply important and deeply nourishing, and inviting the energy of Taurus and asking yourself, how can I feel pleasure in the mundane moments? Maybe you're working on your laptop and you notice that your neck is stiff. Some of us, how many of us just power through and we don't even pay attention when our body feels uncomfortable when we're working? Like, how simple is it to just take a second to stretch it out a little bit? How simple is it to grab a nice drink in the middle of your workday to feel, just to feel magic in a small, ordinary moment. How many of us wait until the weekend to have fun, to feel pleasure, to find meaning in life? How many of us power through the week without even thinking about including pleasure and joy and comfort and rest until the weekend? This is an invitation to make your whole life, every day, a pleasurable experience. I know I keep saying that word. That word just keeps coming up for me with the Taurus energy here. Yeah. And it's like really being at peace with stability right now. And enjoying stability, not always searching for that next jump, that next excitement, that next spiritual confirmation, the next angel number, that next like idea or creative, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to be in the mundane. And I picked another card for this because I was like, okay, I get it. Yeah, and I also wrote removing spiritual pressure too, of like needing to be healing all the time or needing to just find ways to better yourself all the time. It's just really allowing yourself to just live life. You know, it's okay to just live life sometimes, even when you're on a spiritual journey. It's okay to just be a human being and just experience life for what it is right now. You know, like we're not constantly being tested by God, tested by the universe, or having to heal from something or seek answers. Sometimes we're just being guided to live. And during that, it's honestly, I think those are the moments that are preparing us for that next transformational cycle or that next moment where we receive answers. Sometimes our nervous system needs a break and needs some time to be in that restful stillness so that we have the capacity to receive our next download, our next adventure, our next connection. So like, what is your nervous system asking you right now for? And how can you soften into the mundane? And so the next card I got is the Fool reversed, which I found very interesting because it's like, I feel like this Fool is kind of saying to us, it came out reversed, but I'm going to show you the card like this. And it's like, instead of taking a big leap forward right now, you're in this spaciousness. And it feels like, what I wrote was earned readiness instead of premature expansion. So there's something about earning that readiness through being at peace with yourself in the mundane moments. When it's not a huge transformation, when it's not a big idea, when it's not a super exciting time, how do you act? How do you act within that stillness? How do you treat yourself within that stillness? Do you freak out? Do you tweak out when it's quiet? Or do you move with the certainty that you're being prepared and this is not a fallback? The certainty that this is not a fallback, but that a return to your inner rhythms is extremely important for divine timing to be a part of your life. Because if we try to force momentum, then we're not respecting the timing of the universe. If we force momentum, we're not respecting the timing of our bodies. We're not respecting the capacity of our nervous system. And then when we jump into something prematurely, it's honestly not going to work out. when we are pushing against divine timing. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and this is not a moment, if you feel stagnant right now, this is not a moment where you are stagnant. This is deeply important because you're being properly timed. You're being initiated into a conversation with divine timing in a way deeper way than you ever have been before. You deeply respect the timing of the universe. You deeply respect the rhythms and the seasons of change. So you're not jumping into anything before it's ready. You may be resting with the seeds and the ideas in your brain and sitting with those ideas. And that's a beautiful thing to sit with right now. And this, I feel like the Fool reversed is also so symbolic of not romanticizing the leap and making it an experience that is more worthy than the more mundane experiences. And it's being with that neutrality of both experiences are valid, both are cool. I'm chilling right now, and whenever I'm ready to take that leap, I will, but I don't find that leap more important than what I'm experiencing right now in this ordinary life, just living type of vibe, right? It's like also a reminder that there's a cycle that you're still in the integration of. This is a big card of integration as well. Integration of a cycle. And it's kind of just a reminder that before you take that step, you're going to be fully integrated and walking with the confidence that the integration piece is really deeply important, and it might feel boring, mundane, and ordinary, but it is preparing you for that bigger leap moving forward. And when the time comes, you're going to feel in perfect alignment. When the time comes, you're going to feel in alignment with divine timing, with spirit, with yourself, with your natural cycles of your body, with your nervous system, and the rhythmic cycles of the universe. How special is that? That's freaking special. So good for you for being in this moment, right? And I feel like the wheel reminds us that life is moving anyway. You're not paused, you're not stuck, you're not stagnant. Life is moving anyway. And maybe some things are happening for you behind the scenes that you can't see right now because you're so chilling in your own pleasure bubble in the mundane, ordinary moments that you forget that, oh shit, something big is happening behind the scenes right now. Life is moving anyway, whether I'm initiating it with this Fool card or not. It's always turning. The wheel is always turning, and you know that. You know that. I love how much symbolism we can get into with the wheel. There's so much in this card. And yeah, like I said before, not every new idea or new beginning needs to be acted on immediately, right? Like it's sometimes we can just allow a seed, an idea, to be an idea. And sometimes we live our ordinary lives and then one day we realize, oh, that idea that I had way back then, it's coming back right now. And I'm ready to take action on it now. But sometimes we gotta wait for the wheel to give us that green light. It's okay to just allow a seed to be a seed. A seed does not turn into a flower overnight. It has to germinate. I hope that's the right word for it. But it has to grow. It has to sprout outside of the dirt. And right now it feels like the seed that you're sitting with right now, it's still, you just planted it and it's still under the dirt. And then eventually, the wheels are going to turn. And eventually you're going to see that little sprout coming out of the earth. And you're going to be like, oh shit, that seed that I had, that I was sitting with and being patient with it, now it's popping out. And now I'm going to do something about it. So it's like, it's okay to just rest in the mundane until that moment comes, because it's inevitable. The wheels are turning in your favor. It's inevitable. But not everything has to be a forced momentum, and not every new idea needs to be acted on the day that it enters your brain. We can allow the spaciousness and the time and the groundedness to be a part of that conversation too, you know? And I think, I feel like you're really learning what divine timing actually feels like in your body in a deeply grounded way, and finding that your daily routines are actually feeling very nourishing at this time, or you're being invited to see them that way. And it actually may feel really grounding for you to pay attention to your daily routines and have and find meaning in those little moments, you know? Like, for example, I've been really enjoying my skincare routine. That has been something for me that, you know, sometimes it used to feel a little bit like a hassle or like urgent, like I had to fit that into my day. But I'm really leaning into, you know, doing that routine in a very meaningful way and giving love to myself as I do it. And without urgency, but with like a slowing down and really enjoying it and allowing that to be a meaningful part of my day instead of something that I just need to tick off the list. So that could be an example. But I think, yeah, we're being really called right now, if you clicked on this video, to respect the timing and respect your own readiness. Sometimes in our minds, we may feel like we're ready for something, and that's beautiful. Maybe you're a very future forward thinker, very ambitious, but a lot of the times our nervous system needs time to catch up to the mind. And this is a moment to really, really nourish the nervous system in your day-to-day. And trust that eventually the timing will be right. It's inevitable. Just trust that. Can you trust that? And we show ourselves that we trust that by being at peace with the stillness, by being at peace with the ordinary moments. And this is easier said than done, especially for the ones of us that have struggled with mental health or anxiety or things like that, trauma. Stillness can be a little scary. But I hope that this video brought you comfort if it does feel scary. And this is just a reminder that you don't need to force anything when you are in alignment with the divine timing of the universe. You don't need to force anything when your heart, body, soul, and nervous system are rhythmically, fully ready for something. It's not going to feel forced. So, yeah, this is a moment to regulate and allow the mundane to be a space where timing realigns itself and you just get to live, breathe, exist, and be still without any pressure. Take the pressure off. What are things that you put pressure on yourself to do? What if I told you you don't have to do that right now? What if I told you you can just live? What if I told you you don't have to heal everything right now? What if I told you that time heals and that we don't always have to try to heal? What if I told you that you have the capability to enjoy the moment, even if it feels meaningless? Because there's a beautiful emptiness when when life feels meaningless. Because then we become in touch with wholeness and connectedness. So this feels like a spaciousness before the next unknown leap, especially because the Fool came out. So please allow yourself to rest, because there's exciting things that are coming in. And your vessel needs to be prepared for that. Honor the rest that you need right now. Honor the timing with full, deep inner knowing that whatever you want to step into is already yours. So yeah, what I'm going to leave you with is let the ordinary moments hold you as time passes. How do they want to hold you right now? How can you soften into the mundane right now? How can you soften into the mundane right now? How does pleasure want to express itself right now in the smallest ordinary ways? How can you trust in the timing of the wheel even deeper than you ever have before? How can you take some pressure off and just fucking live? Just live a little. Okay, that was my and Spirit's message for today. And I'm wishing you a lot of beauty in your day today. And practice this week. I deeply encourage to bring awareness to those ordinary moments this week and ask yourself, how can I infuse some magic, some love, some fun, some pleasure into this little moment? Just by doing something tiny. You know, and when we practice it, it feels effortless when you practice it constantly. But I'll leave you with that. And I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for being here. Mwah.